Hi friends, welcome to Beautifully Bookish Bethany. In today's video, I'm letting the cast of Love is Blind Season 7 choose my TBR. If you've been around for a few years, you might remember when I did this video where I used the Cameo app where you can purchase short videos from celebrities to have 3 celebrities from shows I've liked over the years choose my TBR. That was a really fun project, and I thought it would be really fun to do it again, but with a themed reality TV version. Personally, I'm a big fan of the Love is Blind show on Netflix. I find it incredibly entertaining, and season 7 is following people from Washington, D.C. It is messy and dramatic, but a good time in my opinion, and I thought it would be really fun to go on Cameo and see if some of the cast members would be willing to recommend books that they think I should read. So I set a budget for myself of around $100. I initially went slightly over that, but it worked out, as you'll see. Let me take you through the process. So if you're new to the Cameo app, here is how it works. You can search for various celebrities, you can look at different things. If I was looking up Love is Blind, I can find the cast members, as you can see, and you can see different people from different seasons. I decided let's just go with all people from season 7, and I requested 4 orders. So I have not watched any of the videos that I got just yet, but the 4 people that I requested from were Hannah Giles, Monica Davis, Marissa George, and Garrett Josemans. Part of the reason this worked out great is that 3 out of 4 of these were $25 for a video plus taxes and fees. The other one was like $30. So I was like, okay, cool, that's reasonable. I can handle that. What did I get back? I got 3 videos that we're about to watch live together because I haven't actually watched them yet, and 1 that I did not get. And you know who it was? It was definitely Garrett, who did not complete the request and instead raised his rates by $100 to $125, which unfortunately is way out of my budget for this project. So we are gonna go with the 3 videos from the wonderful cast members who were willing to make them for me. I'm editing and just wanted to clarify, it's totally fine that Garrett chose not to do this video. I realize that my request is not the typical thing that they see on Cameo, which is like birthday wishes and like life advice type stuff. This was specifically for a YouTube video, and so if somebody's not comfortable doing that or wants to be paid more to do it, like that is absolutely their prerogative, so that's fine. I am, however, incredibly grateful to the 3 lovely ladies who did give me such nice videos. As you're about to see, they were absolutely incredible, and I am really glad that they were willing to do that for me. They were great. I think this is really fun. I have no idea what to expect from these videos, but I will tell you what I requested. Here were the instructions for the video that each person received. Can you recommend a good book I should read? I talk about books on YouTube, and I'm planning a video trying suggestions from members of the cast. I love fantasy, romance, sci-fi, and horror, but will try anything. And I'll tell you the reason I put in my favorite genres is because I feel like sometimes if you ask people for a book recommendation, they feel like they have to give you some kind of a literary fiction or book club pick, even if that's not really what they read. So I'm hoping that saying, hey, I like genre fiction, but I'm open to whatever you want to suggest, will make them feel more free to really suggest anything. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to take their 3 suggestions and then I will read the books if I haven't already read them. So without further ado, let's watch our first video and see what was suggested. I'm going to start with the first one I got, which was from Hannah. I'm really excited about this. So let me record my screen and we're going to do this, man. All right, first video with my live reaction. This is exciting.
Hi, beautiful bookish Bethany. Let's think about some books. Honestly, I've been lacking on my reading lately. Really slacking. I need to get better at it, but you know, I'm not. Okay, so some good books. I feel like my good books, you've probably already read, like fantasy, romance, sci-fi. I love horror. I don't love horror, but okay, so here's some books.
It's okay, not everybody does.
Look here. This is one of my
love that
favorite
she's looking
books,
at her shelf.
and it's more like a mystery. I don't know if you read it, The Secret History. Such a good book.
That's a good one.
And then let's see here. I'm sure you've read like all the series. Like there's like 3. I think there's 3 now. All these like the
Court of Thorns and Roses. Yeah, I'm rereading those now.
They're fantastic. They're hard to start, but once you start reading it, It's good. It's good. Okay, let me see what else I have here. I'm trying to think of, like, pique your interest.
I love her so much. This is amazing.
This Is Us. I have, like, some Colleen Hoover books, so I love romance, too, but I bet you've read them. I've got, like, This Is Us, Verity. Verity's probably my favorite one. And then also, if you like fantasy, I don't know, they have a TV series out now. It's called, The Discovery of Witches. I think it might be on Discovery. I don't know. But the books are so much better, and there's 3 of them. So there's The Discovery of Witches is the main book, and basically it's super good. Like, she's a witch, he's a vampire, they're not supposed to be together, they, like, travel back in time. It's so freaking good. And there's this thing called the Book of Life, and there's 3 different books in it. The Book of Life, Shadow of Night, and The Discovery of Witches. That's a really good series.
I've been meaning to read those. That might be the one.
That's all I've got for you right now. But honestly, DM me if you have any recommendations, because I am lacking and I need to read more. But my favorite stuff is definitely romance, fantasy. I do like sci-fi a lot. Watching it, but reading it is not my thing. But those are my recommendations. If you've read it, I'm sorry, but those are my favorite.
Amazing! Oh my god, Hannah, thank you so much. I will definitely give her a 5-star review. That was so great. I love her. I love that she's like, literally, let me go look at my bookshelf and see what I have that I've read. This was so good. Okay, so the book that I'm pulling from Hannah's recommendations is A Discovery of Witches. It's been a book that I've been thinking about reading for a long time, and I know people really love it, and I have never read it. And I think this means it is time for me to read it. So thank you so much. This is so great. That was like amazing. Okay. This was so good. I love this video. Okay. Also, Hannah, I don't know if you're going to watch this, but if you do, I read a lot of fantasy and romance. I'm happy to give out suggestions, and maybe I'll come up with a couple to put in my review for her too. This is so cool. I love it. This was so good. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, so book number 1 for the TBR is A Discovery of Witches. I'm really pleased because she's right. I have read A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I do like. It's fun. Oh, this is great. Next, let's see what Monica suggests for me.
Hi, Bethany. Or should I call you Beautifully Bookish Bethany? That is like the cutest name and alliteration. This is Monica from season 7 of Love is Blind, and I am so pumped to be reaching out to be giving you some advice on a good book read. I'm a girl who loves a good book, but if I'm being honest, I feel like time is so hard these days to actually like fall in love with something. But whenever I'm traveling or on vacation, I absolutely prioritize that. And this summer, me and my family members were in the Bahamas for a week. It was so much fun. And me, my mom, and my 3 sisters all did a book club while we were there.
Oh,
so we all brought the same book, and it was The Housemaid. It was so, so, so good if you haven't read it.
I have not.
We all read it in just days on the trip. We're like drooling, page turner, twists and turns. So, so, so good. And then there are like 2 or 3 other books in this series. I actually have them. Someone sent them to me, but I haven't had a chance to start reading because I actually received the package of books like a week before the show premiered. So I've been a little bit busy, but I'm gonna get around to reading all of them. I hope you will too. I hope you get so much love from whoever from the cast you reached out to get book recommendations. I can tell you, I feel so incredibly special that you reached out to me. I'm sending you all the love and best wishes from the DC area. Enjoy that book, and thank you so much for being a fan. It means the world to me.
That is so sweet. Oh my god. I love it. It's so good. Also, I have not read The Housemaid. Okay, that's really cool. And who is that by? I know people really like it too. The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I have not read it. That is so cute. To Monica, if she sees, again, I mean, I don't know if they'll see this, but thank you so much. What a lovely video. It was so nice and chatty. I love that you did a book club with your family. That's so sweet. And yeah, I have not read The Housemaid. I'm very excited to pick it up. That's incredible. Okay, so far this is going so well. I'm really excited about this. Yay! Okay, last one is Marissa. So let's see what Marissa has to recommend. This is so nice. So cute. Okay, here we go.
Hi, Bethany. My book recommendation would be a fantasy book, and I have a few. I would say Fourth Wing if you're new to fantasy.
That's a fun one.
Fourth Wing's a good one if you liked like Harry Potter or Divergent. So Fourth Wing, great. It's an academy based, enemies to kind of lovers. trope with dragons and magic, so it's really good. I would say if you're looking for like a romantasy, so romance and fantasy, I would go with A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I would go into that series. If you're looking for a little bit more high fantasy, but a little bit of romantasy as well, I would read Throne of Glass, which is also by Sarah J. Maas. And then for sci-fi, I would go with Red Rising. Red Rising is such a good series.
Yeah, they're good.
I absolutely love it. So I would do Red Rising. So those are my book recommendations.
I love it. These are fantastic recommendations. Thank you, Marissa. This was so sweet. I have read all of your recommendations. I think they're great recommendations, really good picks. But you know what I might do is I might continue the Red Rising series because I have not yet read Dark Age or Lightbringer. So maybe this is my moment to read Dark Age. It is a huge book, and it is one that I've been meaning to get off my TBR for a while, so I'm going to take this as an opportunity to read it. Thank you. So this is great. I feel really good about this TBR. We've got kind of a blend of things. I really liked Fourth Wing too. It was one of my favorite books that year. It was so much fun. And I'm doing a reread of all the Sarah J. Maas books right now. So great recommendations. The 3 books I'm going to be reading for this video are A Discovery of Witches, which I need to buy a copy of. Very excited to get that. The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, which I also need a copy of, and Dark Age, which I do own. This went so well. You always do risk, you know, not having something that you haven't read before, so I'm really happy that I was able to find something from each of these that I can put on the TBR for this video. Huge thank you to all 3 of them for making such nice, thoughtful videos and giving such great book recommendations. Yay! So I'm gonna go procure the books that I need so that we can continue with this vlog, and I will check back in once I have read the first book. I have acquired both The Housemaid and A Discovery of Witches, and I have finished my first book. I read Dark Age by Pierce Brown. Here's the thing. I loved the first trilogy. I think Red Rising is such a great suggestion for science fiction, and the whole first trilogy was excellent. After that, it seems to keep going downhill for me. This one was really long, and I think it easily could have been half the length, and I probably would have enjoyed it more. It's also brutal in a kind of relentless way. I don't know. The ending was interesting. There was a big chunk at the beginning and in the middle where I was like, am I interested? No. Not really. The ending was interesting, and there were parts of the book that were engaging, certain perspectives I was invested in, but for me, this is like a 2-star read, which is a bummer because I absolutely love the initial trilogy, and even Iron Gold, which is the first book in the second trilogy, was better. Still didn't love it as much as I did the first books, but will I continue with the series? Maybe. I'm kind of on the fence about it, honestly. Based on the ending, part of me is interested to see where it goes, but I don't know. I'm on the fence. That said, I am glad I finally dove into this. It's been sitting on my shelves for a couple of years. And even though Dark Age was not my favorite, the Red Rising recommendation did give me a chance to get a big chunky book off my shelves, and I'm not mad about that. I have started reading The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I'm not very far into it yet. So far, it's definitely a page turner. The main character is a woman who recently got out of having been in prison for 10 years. We don't know why towards the beginning of the book. And she gets hired as a housemaid / nanny live-in in a situation that isn't great, with a spoiled kid, a neurotic wife, and a hot husband, which you know is always a dangerous scenario. So far I'm enjoying it. Looking forward to continuing on with it. I will check in once I have finished another book, but so far I would just say Red Rising is an excellent suggestion. I don't know that I recommend going past the initial trilogy though, based on my reading experience so far. Hello, I just finished reading The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and that was a wild ride. It's definitely a page turner. I flew through it very quickly. I don't want to spoil anything. It's really interesting the way that it does things, because like the couple of things that I didn't super like about the perspective of the housemaid at the beginning, the way she's so judgmental of different elements of the woman that she's working for. It worked out. It worked out in some really interesting ways. I can see why so many people like her books. I feel like they're pretty compulsively readable, and you know, maybe you can kind of see some of where it's going. I don't know that I was necessarily shocked, but I don't know that I needed to be. I was just like along for the ride. I would like to talk to people about this because, oh my God, and also it definitely sets it up for a sequel that could be super interesting. I'm like, what can I say about it? I think I said in the last clip most of what I can say, just that she starts working for this family and she's into the hot husband, which is never a good idea. Yeah, really good. It was a very satisfying conclusion. I liked it. I can see why she's so popular. Like, it's not the most groundbreaking thing, but it was compulsively readable. So I would say this was a great suggestion. What would I rate this? Probably like a 4-star. And I would try something else from her in the future. I might read the next book in the series because I'm kind of curious to see what happens next. It like they're standalones, but I think it follows one of the characters into another book. You know, one thing about it too is it makes you think about how when people work in a home, they really do see everything, and that's really interesting as somebody who's had a babysitter when my kids were younger pretty regularly, not a live-in, not like this kind of a situation. Yeah, it's interesting because you're an employee, but you're living with the family, and that can set up some real weird dynamics like it does here. Thankfully, I've had positive experiences myself, but yeah, super interesting. I would recommend this one. This was a great pick. The final book that I'm reading is A Discovery of Witches. I've just read the first chapter of it, and so far I think I'm gonna like it. I tend to really enjoy a dark academia type book, and it's one that I've wanted to try anyway. Plus, if I like it, there's the Netflix show, so fingers crossed. But I think I'm likely to enjoy it, so I will be back once I have finished reading that book, and we will wrap this video up. I am back, and I have finished reading A Discovery of Witches, and I kind of loved it. I don't know why I waited so long to try this book because it was great, and now I really want to watch the TV show. So that was definitely a hit. I'm so glad that this pushed me to pick it up. It is dark academia, but it is heavily a romance. It's a paranormal romance with dark academia mystery elements to it. It's got a cliffhanger ending that makes me interested in picking up book 2. I absolutely see why so many people love this. It's interesting because I know some people have read it and been like, oh my gosh, it's so slow, so boring, nothing happens. I didn't feel that way, but I also really like dark academia. I'm like, yes, give me all the vibes of being at Oxford and the libraries and researching stuff. I love that shit. And not everybody does, but I really enjoyed this. I did think it slowed down a little bit in the latter half, but it wasn't that bad. I still was enjoying myself. Are there a couple of lines here and there that I'm like, does this hold up in 2024? Not entirely. Yeah, there are a few of those. This originally came out in 2011. But overall, I had a really good time with it. I can see how some people might not enjoy the fact that the love interest, who is a vampire, she's a witch, he's a ancient vampire. I mean, it's kind of over the top and kind of fun. He is a bit on the overprotective side, but she pushes back on that, and I don't know, it kind of worked for me. I can dislike that in some situations, but I was sort of okay with it. Yeah, great. Really liked it. 4.5 stars. This was definitely a hit. Overall, I would say this was a surprisingly successful project. I feel like when you do something like this, you have no idea what you're gonna get, what recommendations somebody that you don't know is gonna give to you. But I made progress on a series that had been languishing on my TBR. I mean, did I not enjoy Dark Age? Yeah, but also this was not the specific book recommended. It was Red Rising, which I did love. I don't know. Y'all, I will say this. If you have read on in the series, if you've read Lightbringer, if I didn't like Dark Age, should I keep going or should I just stop? I'm kind of on the fence about it. Let me know your thoughts. But at least I got a big chunky book off my TBR that has been sitting there. The Housemaid was a fun time. This was a wild ride. I enjoyed it. I needed something a little bit bonkers in my life, and I feel like this was a great recommendation for that. So happy to add another thriller writer to my list of possibilities that I might pick up. And then A Discovery of Witches was great. Really enjoyed this. This was totally up my alley, and I now want to go watch the Netflix show and maybe pick up book 2 and put that on my TBR. So overall, I think we did pretty great. Huge thank you to all 3 of the cast members who suggested books to me and made such kind videos on Cameo. It was so nice and lovely and kind of made my day, and this was a really fun project. Talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts on this video, and let me know if you could pick somebody to recommend a book to you. Who would you pick? If you were gonna go on Cameo and find somebody, a celebrity or whatever, who would you want recommending a book to you? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, it always helps if you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.